Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today we're going to be reviewing the brand new PO8 Carbine in Battlefield 5. This is a Tides of War weapon unlockable right now for the Recon class, and it is the first weapon for the Recon that is not a bolt action or a self-loading rifle. Basically, it is still a semi-auto weapon, but it can spam fire very quickly, and it's really truly the first aggressive style weapon given to the Recon class. Now, of course, the most striking thing about the P08 Carbine is that, well, it is a P08, a Luger pistol, the weapon in which they developed the 9mm cartridge for, which is pretty incredible to think about. This is the first 9mm gun. And of course, the P08 was also used in World War I. We used it in Battlefield 1, and we even used the Carbine version of this in Battlefield 1, although it was far less prevalent on the battlefield as it was relegated to the tanker and pilot class initially, and then eventually made it into the main classes, but was a bit underpowered by comparison. Taking a look at the weapon stats and upgrade tree, we've got a 360 round per minute rate of fire, a 33 round detachable drum magazine. I personally like to put the 2x or 3x optic on here, as you're definitely going to need to mix some headshots into your kills to lower that TTK into a manageable range. And for the upgrade path, I like to go quick aim and then custom stock, and then ultimately I like to go light and stock and then back over to the left side for faster reload. I did try and make the hipfire tree work out for this weapon, and although it really does need some hipfire help for the most part, anybody beyond 10 meters, you need to start mixing headshots in there. Otherwise, you are just going to be outclassed by most weapons, if not all weapons in the game. So you really need some ADS accuracy help, and so I ultimately had to go for sort of a hybrid tree, giving me better ADS accuracy, the ability to get more headshots in there. Was the only way to make this weapon competitive at medium ranges. Close range, you can still hip fire people down, but it would be nice if it just had better hip fire in general. I'm actually pretty underwhelmed with some of the balance choices for this weapon. To give you an idea of how it compares to, say, the M1A1, it is pretty much only better in one regard, and that is the faster time to kill in 10 meters or closer. Every other regard, this weapon is inferior to the M1A1. Now, I've been seeing the community's reaction to this weapon, and I think we're in the honeymoon phase right now. People are excited. There's a new gun for the Recon class that gives us a completely different playstyle option. And that is cool, and that is not to be disregarded when it comes to the PO8 performance. This is the most aggressive weapon you can get for the Recon class, and you can use spotting flares with the Recon now, and you can make use of the Pathfinder role, allowing you to spawn on spawn beacons around the map and sort of start playing this more aggressive Recon style. I actually like that. It's been fun. It's been somewhat effective, but I'm not going to lie about the P08 Carbine and tell you that it's better than it is, or show you a whole bunch of clips of me dominating people with it and then say, yeah, it's really good. I could show you clips of me dominating with any weapon, but the P08 Carbine is objectively not a very good gun when compared to other class weapons. Completely outclassed by virtually every gun in the assault class range. The medic classes SMGs have faster muzzle velocity, faster TTK, faster reloads, easier to use performance with full auto fire. This is a difficult weapon, but it's not that you can't do well with it. If you're a very skilled player, you can absolutely aim for the headshots, but it's got very, very poor performance in almost every regard. If your ultimate goal is to be an objective pusher, somebody who gets on the point, aside from the spotting flare, there's few reasons to argue for this weapon over anything that the medic has. Even looking at the basic Sten or MP40, both those guns have faster TTKs in close quarters, and they're full auto, so you don't have to hit the maximum rate of fire by spam firing as fast as possible with the semi-auto. You can just hold the fire button and you'll have the exact same TTK. Not to mention those guns are very accurate, and as soon as you start pushing the range out a little bit, the SMGs actually have better TTK, and they have better reload speeds, and they have better muzzle velocity. It's like night and day in terms of how effective this gun is compared to an SMG. I think the angle that DICE was expecting you to go for here is the fact that you're playing the Recon class. You're a kit or a class that's used to going for headshots. There's very low recoil with the P08 Carbine. You can absolutely go for headshots, especially on stationary targets. It's very easy to go for headshots. but I think they want you to try and take advantage of your extreme accuracy, or extreme low recoil rather, with this weapon, to just get as many headshots as possible and kill your opponents faster than they can kill you. It is possible to do this. It's hard when you're trying to hip fire somebody in close quarters to get a headshot. That's certainly not a very reliable way to use this weapon, and the slow muzzle velocity doesn't help with the headshots on moving targets. But if you like that playstyle, you can definitely try and challenge yourself. And it's not that I haven't had fun with this gun. I have had fun with this gun. It's kind of interesting and neat to use, and it's a different way to use the Recon class, and it's sort of like having a baby M1A1 for the Recon class, and that can absolutely be fun. But objectively, when I'm really looking at the bigger picture here, it's not a good gun by comparison to just about any other class's weapon options. And of course, we have to balance out the classes, right? The medic is supposed to be the aggressive point pusher, and the Recon can be more of an assister with the spotting flare and the PO8 Carbine now, but it can't be the ultimate aggressive CQB class with the PO8 Carbine. It can just be a decent assister now, and so it gives you a reason to play the Recon class now, maybe on more close quarter, more aggressive style maps, which I think was needed, especially for players who weren't digging the aggressive bolt action play for the most part. So now we can have more people potentially using spotting flares to try and clear off points and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the PO8's an amazing weapon, as I've seen so many people online or on Reddit or whatever being like, I love it so much, it's so good. It's the honeymoon phase. It's people picking up this gun for the first time and doing things that they've never been able to do with the Recon class before, or getting a bunch of headshots, or flanking around behind some guys and getting a bunch of kills and being like, OMG, PO8, best gun ever. It's not. It's fun to use, but it is objectively an underpowered weapon compared to other class weapons. Now, that being said, I like the direction DICE is going here with the Recon class. I think this is a good new way to play the Recon class, and we need more aggressive Recons putting flares down on points to help clear off points faster. The capture zones in Battlefield 5 are huge, and sometimes there's just that one guy that's hiding in some rubble somewhere and you got like 10 guys looking for him. It's a huge waste of time and effort from a team, and so to speed up the pacing, having more aggressive Recon players putting down more flares would really help with that. So I like the idea of DICE making an aggressive Recon weapon. I think they could balance it better. Here's what I would do to the PO8 Carbine to balance it out better. Not make it overpowered, still keep it as a skill dependent weapon, a semi-auto gun for sure, but give it a faster reload. Why should it have longer reloads than most of the SMGs in the game? Even longer reloads than the assault carbine weapons. It should have a very fast pistol reload, maybe even less than 2 seconds. That would be cool. Now you can keep the damage flowing in close range. It's not insane damage, or it's not the best damage in the world, but you can keep it going rather than getting killed mid-reload, which was happening to me all the time. What about giving it even better hipfire accuracy? It's hard enough hipfiring a semi-auto weapon in close quarters, running around and stuff. It does take quite a lot of skill to make that work. Giving me some hipfire deviation where I'm actually lining up my shots but they're missing regardless is quite tricky. I think it needs better hipfire accuracy than SMGs, and so it would be nice if the hipfire was sort of made even better with this, so that you could use it more aggressively in that 10 meter or closer range, because if DICE is expecting me to get headshots in 10 meters or closer, it's not going to be happening with ADS gameplay. I'm going to be hipfiring that for the most part. So it just needs a little bit of a bump in the hipfire department. And I think then at that point, this gun would not be overpowered, but it would be more enjoyable and more reliable as an aggressive close range weapon, provided that you do have the skill to match up with its potential. Not a lot of people like semi-auto weapons in this game, especially when you're going up against like a Tommy gun in close quarters. Trying to defeat that with a semi-auto rifle is going to be extremely challenging. And so I think DICE could do a few things to make this slightly more competitive, but ultimately I do like the direction that they're going. It just needs a little bit extra balance. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about the PO8 Carbine in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.